Family Leader Program, a program that empowers, challenges, and enables men to rise up and take up the challenge of leadership in their homes. My name is Jesse Ainebiona, and tonight I will be your host as we share an amazing topic, something that you will be quite interested to know more about as we get into the discussion. The topic of building a culture of celebration in the family. As we get started, I would like to share a little bit more about who I am. I'm Jesse Ainebiona, as already mentioned. I'm the Training and Development Associate at Inspired Leaders International, an international leadership development firm that empowers leaders to transform nations. I'm married to Diana. We've been married now for 10 years, and God has blessed us with 3 children, Ruby, Moriah, and Jordan. I am delighted to be here tonight as we have this conversation. And bringing it home for us is Amos, who has been on the program quite a number of times. You're welcome back, Amos.
Thank you very much, Jesse.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Great.
It is always a pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you.
Yes.
For people that may be watching us for the first time, would you like to share a little bit more about who Amos is?
Okay. Very good evening to you all, our dear viewers. As you rightly put, my name is Kakuru, Amos Mugyenyi, and I am a human resource practitioner. I am married to one wife, Mildred Mugyenyi, and together, by the grace of God, we've been blessed with 3 wonderful children, Avram, Adriel, and most recently, Aaron Mugyenyi. Yes, I love the Lord, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. Good to have you again.
Thank you, thank you.
Great. So as already mentioned, tonight we are talking about building a culture of family celebration. Talking about celebration.
Yes.
What is celebration in context of what we are talking about today?
Okay. Thank you, Jesse. Celebration, I'd put it as taking off time to jubilate, to recognize that you have achieved something as a family, and taking off time to, to share the moment and acknowledge that actually something has been achieved by you as a family. Okay. That is basically how I can define family celebration. Okay. Yes. So something has happened. Something has happened, and you take off time and you say, yes, this has happened. Let us join as a family, and we jubilate.
Yes.
So that is majorly how I can interpret family celebration.
Okay. So taking off time.
Yes.
To jubilate.
Yes.
Something that has happened. Thank you. What makes this important, especially in a family?
Okay. Celebration, first and foremost, is a way of appreciating the Lord for the achievement that He has put before you as a family.
Yes.
So when you're celebrating, you're basically saying that, God, thank you for helping us achieve. And what are some of these things that we achieve as families? Maybe you have received a new child in the family. It calls for celebration. Okay. Someone is looking for that child that you have, and probably they haven't gotten the child as yet. Yes. So it calls for celebration. Yes. You are thanking God for that achievement that He has put before you.
Yes.
Celebration is also one of the ways that you can grow as a family. When you celebrate, you have this time together. You see, you and I will agree that oftentimes we are running up and about, maybe doing work. You're running around home, trying to prepare something to eat. There are chores to do. You find you're busy, basically. Yes. So when you celebrate, you find time as a family to bond. This can be over, cutting a cake. Cake usually doesn't miss out on these entire celebration things. So as you gather around cake, and the nice drinks that you're taking, soda is what I'm referring to, and some fresh juice, you really, it is a way that you bond as a family. You gather together. You're not going to cut cake when one is the other side and another is there. You'll gather together as a family, and then you cut the cake together and celebrate. So it is a way of creating a bond as a family. Then when you celebrate, you're setting an example for the men, especially. You're setting up an example for the boy child. Remember, you're the head of the family. Yes. What you're doing is one of the things that they will do when they start their own families. They saw their father doing it, so they take it as a way of life. They know that this is what I'm supposed to do as a father. And much later, when they start their own families, they will also be able to be part of the celebrations. Please note, some men think financing the celebrations is enough. But hey, gentlemen, you need to be part of the celebration.
Not just finance.
Don't just finance the celebrations, but be part of the celebration. Come and cut cake, dance around with your children, celebrate, kneel down and pray together as a family. You know, it is not evil.
It is not evil for a man to be part of the celebration.
Not at all.
Many times we are thinking about, I want to make the money and send the money.
It is not right.
But what you're saying is
Yes.
it's important not just to send the money,
Yes, please.
but also be part of the celebration.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
As you talked about celebration, one of the things that I've been thinking about lately
Yes.
is that sometimes we are so busy capturing moments
Yes.
with our beautiful, nice smartphones,
Oh, yes.
but we don't celebrate the moment. So we are capturing moments, but then we are not enjoying the moment. We are not part of the moment. We are
Yes.
just recording the moment, but
Yes.
not really celebrating the moment.
Yes, and oftentimes we are recording to share with others.
Uh-huh.
We are not recording to keep them to ourselves. You want to update your status
Yes.
about the celebration that is going on, but you're not living in the moment, as
Yes.
you rightly put it. So it is not in order.
Yes.
We need to be involved. Let us be a part of this celebration. Yes, you are a man, but it is not bad for you to be with your people as you're celebrating. So it is important that we don't only capture the moments on phone to share, to put on our statuses, to share on the family groups,
Yes.
on our maybe workplace groups and wherever. Let us enjoy, let us be part of this celebration.
Yes, great. And I think also as we talk about celebration, we are going to look at some of the things we can be celebrating. What are
Yes.
some of the areas that we should be celebrating? But even before that,
Yes.
I recognize that in the Bible there are many times when, for example, the Lord's Supper,
Yes.
do this as often as often in remembrance
memory of me. Yes.
That was the Lord's Supper. The Passover.
Yes.
Every year you're to celebrate this with your children. So every family in Israel
Yes.
celebrated the Passover festival. Even the time Jesus was going to be crucified, that
Yes.
was the Passover festival. So we see all these celebrations and festivals in the Bible.
Yes.
And then you wonder, why have we not taken it on as family culture?
That is
Yes.
pretty much it. You can also add an example of the wedding at Galilee, in Cana, in
At
Ghana,
Cana,
at Galilee. Yes, that was another form of celebration, and Jesus was in attendance of the same function,
Yes.
together with his mother Mary. Yes, so celebration is. It goes as way back as we can refer to the Bible.
That's true.
Yes.
Thank you. So let's look at some of the areas. We have already alluded to some of them.
Yes.
What are some of the things we should be celebrating? You talked about the birth of a child.
Yes.
You talked about a birthday. What are some of the others that, in your opinion, we should be celebrating?
Thank you, Jesse. There are quite a number. We are just going to look at a few of them. One of them being confirmation. When your child has been confirmed, they have taken a sacrament in the Anglican faith or in the Catholic faith.
Yes.
It is worth celebrating. Why not throw a party? It is confirmation. I mean, someone has been allowed to go to the table and also take offertory. That is something to celebrate as a family. I believe it is something that we should celebrate. When you receive a promotion at the workplace, it is worth celebrating. It is worth celebrating. Yes, go home, enjoy with your family. Tell them that, you know what, guys, I've been elevated. I'm no longer at this level. I've been put at this particular level. So it is worth celebration. Anniversaries. Anniversaries. I will share with you a brief story about a friend of mine, a workmate. One afternoon we were having our lunch at the workplace, and we spoke about the anniversary. And the gentleman told us that, I won't mention the name because he might be watching. He told us that, you know what, for me, provided I celebrate the other birthdays for the children and for the wife, for me, don't tell me about anniversary. I don't celebrate the anniversary.
So he celebrates the children.
He doesn't celebrate.
He doesn't celebrate.
The reason as to why this marriage is there, it started on their wedding. So every time that they make a year, they are supposed to celebrate. So we tried to talk to him and told him that, gentleman, you're missing out on the gist of the matter, on a very important matter.
Opportunity to celebrate.
It is important that we celebrate the anniversaries. How many men know their anniversary? What is your anniversary? For you, I know you know. What is the date? 8th November. Mine is 4th November.
It's 4 days apart.
It is something that must come naturally.
Yes.
It is an important thing that we need to celebrate.
Yes.
Gentlemen out there who don't celebrate their anniversaries, thinking that you're going to celebrate your children, please up your game. You're lagging behind.
Yes.
It is an important aspect to celebrate. Then the baptism of a child. You've given birth to a child. When you're baptizing them, handing them, christening them, handing them over to the Christian faith, it is worth celebrating. Go to church. And meanwhile, celebrations are not supposed to be a party that you're going to throw for 100 guests. Because some of the men miss out on this because they want to tag that expense on them, thinking it's supposed to be a very big function.
Yes.
You can leave church after baptism and pass by a local restaurant. You don't need to go to the big ones, which are quite expensive. Get a meal of 10,000. Celebrate with your family, and then it will be okay.
Yes.
You will go home and know that we celebrated the baptism of this baby, and it is well. It is okay.
Yes. So as you talk about that, one of the mindsets that many people have is some people have this mantra that either go big or go home. So
I need to take note of that. Either go big or go
so
home.
if you can't go big, please don't hold it. And that can be a potential hindrance, and we are going to be talking about some hindrances.
Oh, yes.
Because you've talked about it may be small, but let it be there.
Let it be
so
there.
men, it doesn't have to be big. You don't have to bring those 100 guests. Do something small. There are times we have had celebrations for just our family.
Oh, yes.
And by family I mean, well, the boy is now 10 months. So before he came, we were only 4. Myself, my wife, and our 2 daughters. And we would have a celebration of 4 people, maybe plus someone who helps us in the home. 5 of us. And it is meaningful.
It is full blast. It is a party.
Thank you.
A whole party for the 4 of you.
Yes.
So yes, it doesn't need to be extremely big. If you can afford it, it is not bad.
By the way, it's okay, man. We are not saying it should be small.
Yes.
It can be small if you can't do the big one. But if you want to do a big one, it's okay. Why not? Go for it. But whatever you do, have it.
That is for sure.
So we've looked at confirmation, promotion, anniversary, baptism, and I can imagine many others. For example, in families, it could be that maybe something happened and you felt God's hand of deliverance upon you as a family.
Oh, yes.
That is an opportunity to celebrate.
Oh, yes. Why not?
That is an opportunity to celebrate. So it could be the official ones, but maybe as a family you feel there is something that we are grateful to God for. Maybe you were involved in an accident and you all came out unhurt, you all survived.
Oh, yes.
Celebrate every year in remembrance of God's faithfulness upon your family.
Yes. Can I add just about 1 or 2?
Sure.
Easter is a good time to celebrate as a Christian family.
Yes.
Why not? That is the one of the key parts in our Christian faith.
True.
When our Lord and Savior died for us and was able to resurrect.
Yes.
So why not celebrate Easter as a Christian family? It is something that we should celebrate.
That's true.
The new year, as you're entering into the new year.
Yes.
This one, you don't need to be a Christian. Provided you're a human being and you have crossed over from one year to another, it calls for a celebration.
Yes. Of course, the obvious one, Christmas.
That one goes without saying.
Now, something interesting, Amos.
Yes.
When I look at all these, and we've done it as a family.
Yes.
For example, marriage anniversary. My wife and I made a decision to involve our children in our marriage anniversary.
Okay.
And this is what happens. So it just occurred to us last year. We said maybe it is good for us to begin to talk to them about marriage. So we went away and we all went together.
Okay.
Now we have time for us as a couple. Very important for us to note is that there is a time for my wife and I to go out and have our conversation about our anniversary. But we felt that it is important for the children to also be part of this because they are a product of our coming together in marriage.
Okay.
So at our 10th anniversary, we had a very interesting conversation and we started talking to them about marriage.
Okay.
So we said, so tell us, what do you know about marriage? So is there anything you have learned about, what have you learned about daddy and mommy's marriage? And it was amazing, the conversations that we were having in the room that day. It was amazing. Wow. It was awesome. It was interesting.
Wow, that must have been a good
why
time.
I'm saying that is because when we celebrate these events, we bring perspective to them. We talk about what does Easter mean for us. Yes, people are celebrating, but what does it mean that Jesus died and resurrected? What does it mean that Christ is born? Because we can get lost in all the merrymaking and we forget that reason for the season. So I think partly as we celebrate, it brings meaning. We talk about it as parents, as fathers. We lead those conversations as we talk about what does this signify for us as a family? What can we learn about what God has done through this event?
I agree with you 100%. I've actually picked something. I think on our next anniversary, I should let the babies tag along.
Yeah, sure.
We've been having a good time, the both of us, and leaving them out. So it is something that I've learned. Yeah, so on the 8th anniversary, they will surely be part of the celebration.
Have your time alone first, so
Okay.
that you connect together.
Yes.
And then let the children know what marriage is about. Because I notice today we live in a culture where you receive a wedding card and it says admits
Adults.
2 adults. So children have been left out of everything, and then somehow we expect them to be in marriage one day without us talking to them about it.
And without them attending the functions and seeing how people are having fun and enjoying themselves,
Yes.
it is not in order. On my wedding, I didn't throw them out. I had a number of children. The number of children was almost bigger than the number of the adults. So it is important, like you said,
Yes.
that we let them get to be a part of this celebration so that they learn something, they will admire this, and maybe when they grow up much later,
Very true.
they will know that they'll have to go the same direction.
Thank you. And very important today is we are talking about building a culture.
Yes.
A culture is a repeated pattern of behavior, something that we build over time. And we had talked about why men should be part of these celebrations, because
Yes.
many times these things happen without men being involved. So for the men out there, maybe it is time for us to think about being part of these celebrations, not just
yes.
leaving them for our wives and children, but being part of them.
And sponsoring them.
And sponsoring them, of course. Now,
Yes.
Amos, let me ask, what could be the hindrances as to why we men are not part of these celebrations, or maybe not even being part? Sometimes they don't happen. Sometimes they are not even happening in our homes. What are the hindrances to not celebrating? Like, what could be the roadblocks to that?
Yes, one of them is that, like you said, we are trying to teach men how to build this culture. So we lack the culture. We don't have that culture of celebrations. And this can be made more pronounced when the men are part of it.
Yes.
As the heads of the family, when you decide to be part of this, it will be a culture that will be spread all over. It will be there every single time because you are the head of the family. You've set it and it has to go on.
Yes.
I will tell you, I do not miss birthday celebrations at my home. I have dates that I know each and every one of my children, including my wife and the people we stay with, we all have to celebrate our birthdays.
Okay.
I don't care a lot about mine because I'm not the one who's going to celebrate myself, but somehow they also celebrate me when the day comes.
It is celebrated.
It is celebrated.
Yes.
So it is about having this culture. And we can start. If we have not been having it, this is our opportune moment to start having this culture. We know that. We communicate and know that even when we are planning for the year, when we are setting up a budget for the year, we know that there's funds that are going to be put aside specifically for these celebrations. Because when you don't do that, when you don't set the funds aside, you'll discover that by the time the date comes, sometimes you might even be reminded by your wife it has skipped. You don't have it in your head. You find you don't have funds readily available. But if it is the 1st of February like it is today, and your son's birthday is 25th February, you will easily know that 24 days from now, there's a gentleman who needs to be celebrated in my home. So it helps you. But that is when you have planned to have it happen. Then also we should know that as the heads of the families, we have to set an example. What that I had mentioned it, and I'll repeat it so that it sinks in. These, especially the boy child, will look up to us. What we do in our homes is exactly what they will copy and paste in theirs. So we have to set an example. We know that what we are doing, they have to learn from it and also do it when their time comes to head their families. So it is very, very important. Yes.
So among the things that hinder us from having these celebrations, one we've talked about, not having a culture. And I could say I understand that because I came from, a family where this was really not something that was culture, because we are talking about culture as something that happens all the time. I don't remember my birthday being celebrated apart from one particular time, and partly because it would fall at school. Mine is in April, so it would be at school, and then somehow it moves on, it passes.
You missed most of the birthdays.
So somehow celebration was not really the thing growing up. I get married to my wife, Diana, and for them in the family, wow, we celebrate everything. I mean, you talked about a promotion. If it is first level interview, you have gone through, we throw it in and we celebrate.
That is,
it's
amazing. For a celebration.
There is just every excuse you can find to celebrate. So celebration was big. And initially, I didn't really see this as a priority, which is for me the second point about what hinders most men. One is not having a culture, but secondly, you may not be prioritizing it. Like you feel this is wastage of money, this is wastage of resources. What are we celebrating? We have school fees to pay 2
House
days from
rent
now.
is
We
due.
are now here buying cakes. You know, there are more important things to buy. Maybe we need to service the car. So you look at all these things and you're thinking, really, celebration?
We can
No.
skip that.
So my wife thankfully brought in something from her background,
Okay.
the beautiful culture of celebration. And I must say, like you said earlier on, building the bond, building memories, growing together, we have experienced it. So for the men out there, in case you're there and you're thinking, this is not a priority. No, it is a priority. It is a priority because today you look back, and today we look at some of those pictures when they were children, celebrating a birthday as children. Today they are adults. And it has gone throughout the family because everyone in their family does that. So it is an opportunity for us to teach our children that
Yes.
these are things that are very important and they can also do them in their own homes.
Interestingly, I share a lot in common with Diana, according to your explanation.
Yes.
We used not to skip a single celebration
Yes.
growing up. I have a number of albums at my old lady's place. Mommy, hi, I know you're watching. There are a number of albums at her place with
Yes.
those baby pictures, and
Yes.
almost all celebrations are there.
Yes.
She even had a tendency of writing behind them 1 year.
Wow.
Amos's birthday, 1 year. Brenda is my elder sister.
Oh.
Brenda's second birthday, something like that. So we
Yes.
have a number of albums.
Yes.
And I mean, it is priceless. When you
Yes.
go through them, it takes you
The
down
memories
and
are
the memories.
beautiful. Amazing.
And today we have a problem. We are no longer behaving like we used to in the past, where we take pictures with our phones and
Yes.
don't print them out.
True.
So when you lose your phone,
You've
the
lost
memories are
everything.
gone. You've lost everything.
Yeah.
How I pray that we get into the culture of maybe printing them out,
Yes.
so that we can have them kept elsewhere, or backing them up at a particular place so that we can refer to them at one point in time.
Very true.
So it is important that we have these memories.
Thank you. So men, any message to a man out there that still feels like there are more important things than celebrating these things? Please
Yes.
let us take life more seriously. Let us, put money to the right use. What would you say to a man who thinks this is a wastage of money and resources?
Okay, thank you very much, Jesse. To the man out there, celebrations are priceless. These are the memories that you will hold on to for the rest of your life. Please, please, please make sure that you celebrate. A girl, for example, a young lady who has grown up being celebrated, will not be confused by maybe men out there when she's at the university and they are proposing to have a birthday party.
Yes.
These are things that they've grown up seeing. They know this. So as you're assuring her that it is your birthday, it is very important, she'll be like, but at the back of her mind, my
Yes.
father used to do this all the time.
Yes.
My mother has been celebrating me.
Yes.
So the man out there, set this so that your daughter or your son is saved
Yes.
the burden of being maybe manipulated in future,
That's
because
true.
they are seeing some things for the first time.
True.
Then these memories are irreplaceable. There's nothing that can replace these memories.
Yes.
You will hold on to them for the rest of your life, even when you're wrinkled and old.
Yes.
And and even if you're not still, you've gone, you've passed on, you're not alive anymore. Your child will always have those memories in
That's
the head
true.
that, you know what, mommy used to always celebrate me, daddy always bought cake.
Yes.
It is the day that we ate this particular meal.
Yes.
And because of course on that day you eat usually the special meal.
Yes.
They will have to prepare what you love most. So you remember that, this is what they used to prepare for me. It is something that will stick with you for the rest of your life.
Yes.
So men out there, please don't think it is a wastage of money. Don't think it is a wastage of time. Sponsor these and also be part of them.
Awesome.
Make budgets and ensure that you finance them, but also be present to be part of the celebration.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Amos. We are talking about building a culture of family celebration. We are going to take a short break. And right after the break, we shall be taking this even higher as we continue to share nuggets and insights and some practical tips on what you can do to make this a culture in your family. So don't touch that dial. See you shortly.
This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
just one wife, that you need the leadership skills of a general
Yes.
to lead an army of one woman.
So we have to take a lot of pain, a lot of effort to teach children how to get along with one another.
Your raw material is money,
Of course.
but it is not your money.
It is not
That is
yours.
the biggest challenge. So if you do not fear God, you will end up misappropriating this money and taking it to be your own, yet it is just what you're using to do the work that you're doing.
So ego is very dangerous to me, and we should avoid the extremes.
This program exists to equip, challenge, and empower men to expand their family leadership capacity for national transformation.
You are welcome back. This is the Inspired Family Leader Program. We are discussing building a culture of family celebration. For the men, we have been talking about the fact that these are important opportunities for us to bond, for us to connect, for us to build memories, for us to train our children to celebrate. Indeed, as the Bible tells us, train a child the way they should go, so that when they grow, they will not depart from it. This is part of it. When we train the children to celebrate, they will catch it on and continue to do it even when they are older. Amos, I want us to share a bit of experience about how this has worked out in your home. For example, exactly 6 days ago, last week on Sunday, we celebrated our daughter's birthday. Okay. She was turning 8.
Okay.
And one of the things that we realized was, it's not just the celebration, but it is the whole experience. So there came a time when she went shopping with my wife. They went to buy some things to decorate. And then it is also culture that I'm the one who blows the balloons, and then I put them up. So when they wake up and they just enter the sitting room on the day of the celebration, they just look up and they say, wow. So all this is, it is not just the cutting of the cake.
Yes.
It is the whole experience of there is a birthday, we are going to celebrate, the balloons are up, we have gone shopping. So it is just a nice opportunity to bond, to connect, to have a memorable experience. Something else I could share about our experience has been, for example, our son is now 10 months.
Okay.
And normally for the first year, we celebrate every month.
Okay.
And what that means really is, like you said, it can be as small as anything.
Yes.
On that day, so he was born 19th March 2024. Every 19th of the month, I will go somewhere, buy a small slice of cake for just the 5 of us. We are not bringing anyone. It is just the 5 of us to say, on this day, God gave us a gift of an addition to the family. So we celebrate you, Jordan. Today you are 7 months.
Okay.
Then the other month you are 8 months. And it's just interesting to have that as part of the celebration. How has it worked for you at home?
Yeah, thank you very much. You've shared some insights that I will still steal from you and also apply in my marriage.
Why not?
So we have, I ensure that on these celebrations that my mother is part of the celebration. She has to come and celebrate with us. Okay. At least when they see their grandmother around, they know that at least there's something is cooking.
Yes.
They know that it is a celebration and she has to be part, including my sisters and brothers who are close by who can come.
Yes.
I always ensure that they come over. And sometimes I don't have these celebrations just at home.
Yes.
I can decide that this time we are going to have it at one of the grandmother's places. So we move. We set up the other side and they change the place.
Yes.
They know that it is not at home. We have moved to maybe one of the grandmother's places and they have fun. They enjoy it.
Yes.
Then of course we ensure that there's an attire that matches with.
There is a theme.
Yes. No, not a theme per se, but at least for the birthday baby.
Okay.
They have a new attire.
Okay.
So the siblings also join in. Sometimes you find that they are also getting new attires to celebrate their siblings.
Yes.
So at least the babies have something new to wear. Yeah, we tried out the thing, especially at the start when we're celebrating the first year for our first baby, Avram. And it was beautiful. Okay. So my wife and I and the baby had the same t-shirts written on the names and what have you.
Yes.
So it was a good thing. It was a good celebration. But as the babies continued to increase,
yes,
we had to phase out some of those things because budget was becoming becoming bigger.
That's
but
true.
it is a good thing. There are a number of things that you can spice up
Absolutely.
to make it different.
I think the most important thing
Yes.
is the celebration.
Absolutely.
It is just the celebration. Even if you can't buy anything, just coming together, maybe you bring juice and you just celebrate and
Yes.
thank God. That's the most important thing. The fact that we have celebrated
Yes.
is something worthwhile.
We have not missed that beat on any of the birthday celebrations.
Yes.
The baby has to be blessed.
Thank you.
We kneel down as a family
Yes.
and pray for the baby
Yes.
and bless them through the next year.
Yes.
And we believe, God, that we shall gather again a year later and
Yes.
celebrate the other birthday.
Sure.
So it is important that during those, as the head of the family, let your children kneel down and you pronounce blessings in their lives.
Use your priestly authority as the
Yes.
priest of the home.
Yes.
Yeah. You talked about your mother being part of the celebration. My mother-in-law lives and works in Nairobi.
Okay.
So one of her daughters on her birthday, she said, Kaka, meaning grandma, I would like you to come for my birthday.
Okay.
Guess what? She flew in for that birthday.
Wow.
But you see, it's possible to make that sacrifice
Yes.
when you have a culture
Absolutely.
of celebration. Otherwise, why would someone fly in for a birthday? What? But she knew, she understood that this is something that will be forever a memory that she will cherish for the rest of her
And
life.
she was doing the same for her children. You
Exactly,
mentioned that your
exactly.
wife didn't miss a single birthday
There
growing
you
up.
go.
So it is something that we shouldn't take for granted.
Yeah.
Friends, 365 days is not a joke.
Yes.
Within 1 year, a number of things happen. So if you've been able to move and have this particular day,
Yes.
please make sure that you celebrate the birthday. We are concentrating on birthdays, but there are several others as we
There
had
are
shared.
many others.
Yes, as we had shared earlier.
By the way, something else is sometimes we just celebrate life.
Yes.
Nothing specific, but just life. And
Actually,
so,
there's something specific there.
yeah, life. So,
Life
for
is-
example,
yeah.
today we just put a mat outside, and we say today we are going to. Today is Saturday.
Yes.
We are going to have breakfast outside, and
you
the
celebrate
children
it.
call it a picnic. So we just carried the mat out, and we carried the tea, the flasks,
How much
everything.
did you spend on transport?
We just walked outside, and then they took a picture and they said, "Wow, having
Yes.
breakfast outside
You see?
on a Saturday morning.
Wonderful.
That's a celebration,
It
you know.
is- it is worth celebrating.
Exactly. So utilize any opportunity to do something unusual
Yes.
and bring some fun, some vibe in the
Memories,
home.
lasting
Exactly.
memories
Lasting
that will stick
memories.
to their minds for the rest of their lives.
Yes.
It is important.
So we celebrate birthdays, we celebrate anniversaries, we celebrate all these things.
Yes.
How can a man keep all these dates in memory? Because sometimes someone may forget.
Yes.
How would you encourage a man? What would you advise them to remember these dates?
Let me pose a question to you. Do you know that men know their account numbers in their heads?
You know,
At
when you call
20,
customer service
yes.
and they say, what's your account number? You just
The
say
man
it.
begins 2397
Eh.
what? It is 20 digits long, but they
Yes.
have the account numbers in
Yes.
their heads. You cannot fail to cram
True.
a date which is just 7th November or whichever date. It is as simple as that.
Yes.
Let us memorize them and have them at the back of our minds.
Yes.
I will tell you off head. 10th October is my wife's birthday. Our firstborn son was born on 20th August. Our second-born son was born on 24th of March. Our third-born son was born on 1st April.
There you go. I could do the same.
Yes.
My wife's birthday is 7th Jan.
Yes.
Ruby's birthday is 16th January. Mariah's birthday is 31st May.
Okay.
And Jordan's birthday is 19th March.
As simple as that.
Partly they are easy for me because on each of those dates, apart from my wife's birthday, I was not there.
Yes.
But for the children, I was there. So I even remember the day of the week and the time of the day. So
Yes.
it's a bit easy.
You can account for all the
I
events.
can account.
The other way that you can have them
Yes.
is get your calendar and mark them.
Yes.
At the start of the year, when you're getting new calendars for the year,
Yes.
mark the dates off. It is
That's
as simple
true.
as that. You don't need to show anyone that calendar. Keep it somewhere yourself so that you revise every start of the month and you say, do I have a particular day here? And then it will remind you.
That's true. And
We
then
have-
we also plan. You know, we have
yes.
planners. We
Yes.
plan AGM will be on this day. We have certain team building on this day. So we plan all these corporate events.
Yes.
So we could also put those dates on the calendar so that we see them. Because out of sight is out of mind. You
Most of the
easily
time.
forget if you can't see it.
Most of the time, out of sight is out of mind. The other
Yes.
way is that today we are in the digital era. We have phones.
Yes.
Save these on your phone.
Yes.
They'll give you a reminder when the day comes, or even a day before.
Yes.
You'll get a beep that reminds that tomorrow
That's true.
is this one's birthday.
Yes.
And you're safe, you'll survive, you won't forget.
True.
Tomorrow is your anniversary. Tomorrow is this, something as simple as that.
Yes.
And it is something that we can teach ourselves. It is
Yes.
something that we can try to learn. When you get a diary, diarize these dates. When you get a diary, just mark off those dates in the diary. So that when the year comes, when the month starts, you go to your monthly planner and you can be able to see that I have one birthday this month, I have an anniversary, I have as simple as that.
And then you plan.
Yes,
and
and then
you
you plan.
I mean, like our 10th anniversary, we felt we should do something a bit out of the ordinary.
Oh, yes.
So we planned a trip out of town, traveled about 9 hours,
Okay.
went to a national park. It was beautiful.
That was
beautiful. And the children, to this day, it's something that they have never...
They will not forget that.
Today, I have a friend who unfortunately lost his father.
Oh.
And
My
he was
condolences.
aged 97 years old. And there were amazing testimonies about this old man. So the preacher of the day came, and as he was giving his sermon, as he was giving his message, he asked a question. He
Yes.
said, would your parents be glad to have you as a son?
Okay.
Are your parents glad to have you as a son? That question got me thinking.
Oh, yes.
And now as we talk about celebration, please, we have talked largely about our wife and children.
Yes.
If you have parents, celebrate them. It's not obvious that you have them. Celebrate their anniversary. Early this year, my mother has always wanted to go to Ginger. So we decided that, let us honor her, let us celebrate her. They have made 42 years in marriage.
Okay.
We just felt we could do for them something special. So we all put our resources together and we drove to Ginger and we celebrated them.
And she enjoyed.
And she enjoyed herself. We see her jumping in photos. It was amazing. But celebrating our parents, maybe their anniversary, their birthdays, it is a gift that God has given us. So let us not forget about them. For even the wider family, if there is something you can do as a bigger family, why not? All these are important for us because they build amazing experiences. And it also helps us not to take life for granted.
That is for sure.
Yes.
It is a way of thanking God for that particular achievement.
Yes.
It's also not bad for you to thank God for life when you wake up in the morning. Because how many people, we always read obituary messages. We've lost workmates, we've lost grandparents, we've lost relatives, we've lost friends. If you're alive, it is worth celebration.
Yes.
You don't need to particularly have something, that there's this achievement, or celebrate even as long as you're alive. When you wake up in the morning, celebrate by thanking God for the new day.
Very true.
Yes.
So let's find a way to cultivate celebration into our day. We could choose and say, I never grew up like this. This is not something that I grew up seeing. Well, you have a choice, and I'll ask you to weigh in on that.
Yes.
Men, we have a choice. You can choose to play victim and self-pity and say, I never saw this happening. No one did it for me. I don't know how it is done. But you can also choose to say, it's okay. Where I'm coming from, that was my background.
Yes.
I saw recently that before you are 30, where you came from, that is your background. But when you become 30 plus, you are now the background. So, so please be the background that can become the beginning of something new in your family.
Absolutely.
What would you say to a man who says, I never grew up seeing this? What would you say to them?
You have a chance to start something new. You didn't see it, but you have a chance to now start something new that your children will see. So that much later, they will have something to refer to because you started it.
Yes.
You mentioned it. You didn't have the celebrations in your home growing up, in your father's house growing up, but you have them in your home.
Yes.
So right now, Ruby knows at the back of her mind that we have to celebrate.
Yes.
So you've set an example for her.
Yes.
We shouldn't use it as an excuse because we didn't have them growing up that we shouldn't start them. There's an opportunity for you to start this. That is one of the points. Then the other thing I would like to speak about is that you see as men, and this also especially goes to the boy child, when we are doing this, we are setting an example. We are setting a standard below which they will know that they have not performed as required of them because their father did this. If they haven't done it, they will have it. They might dodge it around. They might not attach as much value, but they will remember at the back of their minds that my old man was part of this. So if they don't do them, they will They will feel cheated, that they have cheated the children that they have produced.
Yes.
So it is important that we set an example for the children to follow, that even much later they will still continue and have this as a celebration. Then also we need to be the difference maker. Let us make the difference.
Yes.
Let's be remembered for being someone who did not take anything for granted, because it is not worth taking a single thing for granted.
Yes.
I have mentioned to you, and I'll say it again, the mere fact that you've woken up in the morning is a blessing. People younger than you are couldn't make it.
True.
They didn't wake up. Some didn't,
Yeah.
because we bury on a daily basis. You know this.
Yes, true.
People your age probably are in hospital. Some of them couldn't wake up and move. They are not strong as strong as you are, or they are not in good shape as you are. So it is worth celebration.
Yes.
But now, when it goes now to even these are dates that I'm talking about of celebration and what have you, the New Year and the Christmas and the Easter, it is a way that you're thanking God. You're strengthening your Christian faith.
Yes.
As a way of doing what? Of celebrating this.
Yes.
So it is very important that you don't say, because we used not to celebrate these, that I should also never do that. No,
True.
we need to be the difference maker. Then another thing that I would like to speak about is that we can change the status quo. We can change something that has been there for a long time in our families. We can change something. We can start a new culture. We can build something that will be expounded on by the others that will come after us.
Yes.
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 You are the head of the family. It is your responsibility. Among your duties, you add that one, and know that you have to be the top, the topmost cheerleader.
Yes.
You have to cheer your family on.
Yes.
About anything. I'll take you to an example of something like joining your children at their schools when there's sports day or speech day. When your child is there singing, it's not even for you to cheer them on. In fact, if you have a gift, you move up to the stage, dance with them, show them that you are part,
You
that
are
you
there.
appreciate them.
Yes.
It will be a different kind of feeling when they have you there as their family head.
True.
Our wives have mastered the art. For them, they do this often. As for us, we sometimes, we think it is, we have delegated, and we think it is not worth it. But celebrations are very important. Be there, be a part of this journey with them. Take pictures with them, cheer them on as they are running. Celebrate, scream their name. They'll know that my dad used to be a part of this. And when they have children later, it is something that they'll do, because we are role models. It is not something we can dodge.
Yes.
God has put us in these positions, and what we do will be considered something that they'll take on much later when they start their families.
Thank
so
you.
Men, please, if you didn't grow up having this, it is not an excuse. You have had that excuse long enough. It is no longer valid. Start something new.
Yeah. Thank you. And indeed, there are many opportunities that we can get hold of. I mean,
Yes.
as you talked about sports day, maybe your child did well, maybe
Yes.
in chess or maybe in singing. Maybe they came out on top and they really did an outstanding performance.
Yes.
Why not do something small to celebrate them? Because what you focus on expands. So when you recognize them and celebrate their achievement,
Yes.
they want to make you proud again. So whatever they do, they know that someone is watching. Sometimes we are quick to catch them doing wrong, but when they do something nice and something right and they are recognized, nobody mentions it. So maybe let's use this opportunity to
Yes.
celebrate them. Maybe they stood for prefectorate position at school and they went through. Celebrate them.
Absolutely.
Maybe they came top of the class, or there was a significant improvement, or maybe they did well in a subject that has
Yes.
been giving them headache. Do something, celebrate something, to recognize that we see what you're doing and we just want to encourage you on what you're doing.
Do you know that something as small as a card that is 2,000 shillings at the nearby supermarket with a nice message written in your own handwriting, not even typed,
Yes.
and you're telling the baby that, you know what, I'm very proud of you. You have achieved this. Thank you very much. I congratulate you.
Yes.
With love from daddy and mommy.
Wow.
And you sign it off. This is something that they'll cherish for a very long part of their
Yes.
lives. So it doesn't need to be extremely expensive. If you can afford, like you said earlier,
Yes.
go ahead and do it. But if you can't afford something so big, something as simple as, giving them a hug, a high five,
Yes.
and you're like, you know what, I'm very proud of you. It is something that they'll always remember, that when I achieved something as small as it was,
Yeah.
my daddy was proud of me.
That's true.
My mommy was proud of me.
Yes.
So,
However small,
yes.
in fact, even the families in Egypt, when God said, slaughter a lamb and sprinkle the blood, those that could not do a lamb, they said, I think you can do a bird or something. So
What
however
they could do,
small,
yes. And
however
sprinkle.
small that you can do, please do it. What matters most
Is doing.
that you do it. What matters most is that you do it.
Yes.
And that is something very priceless. Great. So let's bring this in for a landing.
Yes.
What are your parting shots that you would say to a man out there that has been watching the program? We have talked about many things about building a culture of family celebration. What would be your parting shots to a man on this that has been on this program today and wants to go and make a difference?
Okay,
What would you say to them?
Thank you very much, Jesse. To the man out there, please, please, please plan to celebrate with your family. Be a team player who plays with the team. Do not only sponsor the activity and you fail to be a part of it. When you fail to be a part of it, you will not give an example that is right to especially the boy child who will be in your position when they start their own families. This is achievable. It is something that if we plan properly, we can be able to, to achieve. We are setting an example. We are appreciating God for whatever small thing that we have as a family. So men out there, please, 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 do not only be sponsors, but be teammates, be part of the celebrations. Something as simple as a birthday, have these dates memorized, have your anniversaries, memorized, have them in your mind, and plan to have as small as you can afford. If you can afford big, it is okay. It is not bad that you should celebrate big. So men out there, it is important that we celebrate. It is not a role for the wife, it is our role as well. Add it on your job description that, you know what, I am part of the celebration and I have to avail myself. Create time and be there with your family as you're doing these celebrations. Much later, when your children are old, they will remember this. They will know that our daddy was a part of this. They will remember that our daddy spared time off his busy schedule to stand with us, to celebrate with us, to jubilate with us, and he was there. I know that it is something that is achievable. We are doing it, and we know that we can even do it better. So thank you very much, and may the good Lord richly bless you.
Thank you so much, Amos. As you shared those parting shots, something came out strongly for me, that at the end of it all,
yes,
what children remember, or what people remember most, are not the things we gave them and the things that we bought them,
yes,
but the memories that we built. And when you think about celebration, this is what we are talking about.
Yes.
It's opportunity to build lasting memories.
Yes.
It's opportunity to build experiences. Because, attend a service and see what people are saying. He was there. We enjoyed our time together. That is what people are talking about. People are talking about experiences. People are talking about memories. And yet we are so busy. We are working to provide, and yet they may not remember
what was provided.
That provision. But they will remember the time you spent, the time you were there, celebrating, and just doing life together. It's not every day that we do this. So every opportunity that you have, dear men, let us embrace these opportunities. We have talked about building a culture of celebration in the family. May that be something that you take to heart and begin to do it. Is it your child's birthday? Please don't forget that date. Like Amos has said, jot it down somewhere and know where it is. Because when you don't celebrate that birthday, that child will feel like, I don't matter. I don't matter. I see other people celebrating birthdays, but I don't see mine being celebrated. That child will grow up with a void in their heart that makes them feel like, I am not that important. Remember those. Remember your wife's anniversary. You remember your anniversary. It's not your wife's anniversary.
Your anniversary as well.
Your anniversary. Don't take that thing for granted. Because many times one of the things why we don't celebrate is that we take things for granted. We think we always have them. But we will not always have them. So celebrate while you have this opportunity. Celebrate. It may not be big. It can be small. Whatever it is, celebrate it, because God has gifted you with the opportunity to have that blessing. So give thanks to him. Don't take it for granted. But most importantly, like we have said, it will be an opportunity to bond with your family. It will be an opportunity to create memories that will never be erased. It will be an opportunity to make an input in your children that will never be taken away. It will be an opportunity to plant something that they can even carry on for the rest of their life, because they know that in our family, our culture is a culture of celebration. So I pray that you will take this to heart and go and be people that celebrate what God has done for you. Make it a culture in your families, and let us build families that have cultures where God is praised because of what he has done for us in the family. Thank you so much, Amos. It has been a pleasure hosting you. Thank you. Thank you, all the viewers. I wish you all